Now, it seems that Mortal Kombat X is receiving negativity from a lot of personalities, and to be fair, I can see where they're coming from. But in other parts, not so much. You see, on the PC, Mortal Kombat X released with a glitch where you couldn't play the whole game. In fact, the only thing available of real substance was the 1 versus 1 mode. Online mode and story mode were locked. Now, this is because Mortal Kombat was trying to do a preload feature. Did I say preload? Preload. Fuck, there I go. This was because Mortal Kombat X was trying to do a preload feature that would allow you to play some of the game while it was loading the rest of the game in the background. The problem was that even when the game had finished, it still didn't let you play all the other parts of the game, meaning that you were only allowed to play about 10% of the content. Now, I grant you that this is a bad thing, but I'm not so mad about it truly. You see, I actually agree with the preloading part of the game for you to play the game while the rest is downloaded in the background. Because with games growing more and more in size, easily passing over 50 gigabytes, and taking around 12 hours to download on a standard connection, a feature like this is a reasonable step in the progression of video games into the homes of consumers. All of it being to allow consumers to play their games even faster. Now, another issue people seem to be having with the game, though, is that you have to pay to unlock easier fatalities. That you can pay. I'm a fucking idiot, ain't I? Now, this I don't really care about, because fatalities don't affect the combat of the game. It's like a little trinket to be displayed after you have finished a round. Granted, I do think that it is stupid to buy it, but at the end of the day, this boils down to personal preference. If people are just too lazy to input the commands for the finishers, then let them pay. It is not something that would truly affect other players other than making them a little bit salty. What I do complain about, though, is the same thing I have complained about in the past, and that is making a character as a pre-order item, because it directly affects the fairness of the game. In fighting games with multiplayer, it is extremely important to treat every player the same, meaning that each person has to have access to the same amount of content as everyone else. Right now, this very moment, there are people playing Mortal Kombat X who do not have access to Goro just because they didn't pre-order the game. And that breaks the game in my opinion. That means that the people that do have the character have an unfair advantage over them. And in competitive fighting games, that just should not be allowed to happen. If you want to make a pre-order bonus, then make it an extra stage or an extra outfit for some of the characters. These things do not affect the competitiveness of the game. A new outfit does not leave another player at a disadvantage in a fight. Now it seems from what I have read that Goro can be unlocked day one, but of course you have to fork over some cash to do so. And that's just disgusting. Not to mention their $30 combat pack, which will include 4 more characters, pumping up the price to being over $90. But fine, this is the world that we live in, and I doubt that me bitching about it on a silly internet video will make any bit of difference. But one has to wonder, why would they pull such tactics with a franchise that for the most part they knew was going to make its money back? Mortal Kombat has a decently sized fan base, so was charging a few more pennies and pushing Goro behind the paywall pre-order bullshit really worth the ire of the fan base that they have gotten? Because it stands to reason that once you have a loyal fan base, you would try not to piss in their faces so much. I mean, sure, DLC is fine if handled with care, and for all reason, Mortal Kombat is probably a great game, so why leave a sour taste in the mouth of the people that went out of their way to support it? Anyway, you all have a blessed day.